Good morning, everyone, from the Tabernacle of David Prophetic Dance Center in Jerusalem. I want to encourage you today to take hold of your thoughts. Don't let your thoughts take hold of you. We need to be able to discern. I'm going to give an example. I left a few days ago to go on my retreat, and my attitude was really poor. I was very judgmental. I was not outwardly, but I was observing my thoughts. And I'm like, where is this coming from? Like, I was really, when they say woke up on the wrong side of the bed, I didn't even know where it came from. Where did it come from? It came from the pit. You see, the enemy shoots thoughts into our head, and sometimes it's an open door, sometimes it's clearly just an attack. And when I look back at my trip the last few days, when I got to my destination, there was a severe attack, and I saw that it was all like escalating, because in the end, it led up to a new friend saying a prayer to receive Yeshua. You see, lovers of God have an enemy, and his name is Satan, and his workers, his cohorts. You see, when the enemy is trying to abort or divert, steal, undermine the plan of God, which is impossible, things will really be heated up. You know, it's said that when we're on the verge of a great breakthrough, the warfare is extreme, and that is so true. So be encouraged when everything seems to be just hitting the fan. It's because you're on the right path. We can expect to have lots of enemies as we fall more and more in love with God, and as we run after God, as we run this race, and we know that Yeshua is the finish line. But let's be all that we can be here on this earth, and that's why we were saved by Yeshua, our free gift from God the Father. We were saved for destiny. So we need to be able to discern our thoughts. I've heard many different speakers, including myself, where a theme of thoughts would come. Suicidal thoughts will just all of a sudden be flooding your brain, and it's like, excuse me, these are not my thoughts. This is not how I'm feeling. This isn't me. Lust, anger, yes, they can be our emotions, but they can also be an attack from the pit of hell. I remember years ago, I was living at a place by the sea in Long Island, and I was feeling very happy and content. And I remember I was making a salad, and I was living in a new apartment a new apartment for me. And all of a sudden I was hit with these thoughts of loneliness, like flooded with loneliness. And I'm like, these aren't my thoughts. This isn't how I'm feeling. Get out. There was like a spirit of loneliness in the house. See, we have to be able to discern. I heard a speaker many years ago talk about how she was on tour. She's a singer. And all these lustful thoughts were coming into her brain. And she called her husband, and she was talking to him about it, and they knew it was an attack. It's the enemy shooting darts, fiery darts, thoughts into your mind. So you have to understand. I remember years ago, I was staying somewhere, I was at a conference, and suicidal thoughts were being shot into my head. And I'm like, what? This isn't me. These aren't my thoughts. We have to be able to discern. The sneaky thing about the enemy is that he doesn't shoot darts into you that are in the third person, but in the first person. Like, for example, let's say I hear I'm getting sick. Because this is what happens. You might hear, oh, okay, I'm getting the flu. If I come into agreement with that and believe that, I'm going to get sick. That is why it's so critical that we don't say okay to the enemy. I've brought this up before. I'm going to say it again. When we first started to have to wear masks last year, I was having trouble breathing, and I have no history of any respiratory issues. And the Lord spoke to my heart, and he said, just don't say okay. Don't say okay to the enemy, because if you come into agreement with that, you surely will be sick. And every day for a week, it was like I was trudging through, and I just wouldn't say okay. And with that, each day, the anxiety about the sickness, whatever it was, decreased. Within 1 week, It was completely gone. It's really critical that we don't say okay to the enemy, because the enemy is looking for your agreement. That's what he's looking for. He wants to wear you down. Don't let him. So, sending you lots of love from the Tabernacle of David Prophetic Dance Center in Jerusalem. God is faithful. Shalom and lehitraot. Peace, and see you later.